Folks, there's without a doubt, Donald Trump leads a cult. And when I say leads a cult, I mean he leads a cult. Today at the White House, he signed this Religious Liberty Commission, okay, which don't know really what the hell that is. And you want to see weird? So I want you to watch these weirdos as Trump signs this. And you got Avita King there, you got Paula White, and then you got Pastor Mark Burns, you got a whole bunch of yahoos. Okay, watch this level of sickness.
"'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace that fear relieved. How precious is that grace appeared the hour I first believed. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Can we sing that again? Say amazing.
Trump is sitting there. Let me zoom in. He's sitting there going, these people are weirdos. If y'all want to see a perfect example of how sick and demented white conservative evangelicals are, even they know he's a fraud. Even they know he ain't no Christian. That man fall asleep in church. Hell, he fell asleep at the Pope's funeral. How do we know he don't know a damn thing about church? Y'all, everybody know the rules. You go to a funeral for the Pope, you wear black. His ass in a blue suit. When they had the wounded warriors in the Oval Office, you guys were shot? There were bombs? Wow, that's amazing. There were people there with no limbs. Whoa, that's amazing. This is the greatest con job ever. But here's the real deal. The conservative evangelicals, he's their Trojan horse. They know he's fake. They know he ain't a real Christian. So what does he do? What y'all want? What y'all want? Get rid of Roe v. Wade? Got it. What y'all want? Y'all want a religious commission? All right, got it. All right, what else y'all want? As long as y'all give me y'all vote, I'll give y'all whatever y'all want. He is a fraud. This commission is a joke. These people are despicable. Every single one of them. I'm going to bring in my panel right now, Dr. Dola Haynes. She is Georgetown University School of Foreign Service out of D.C. Dr. Greg Carr, Department of Afro-American Studies, Howard University out of D.C. Zabora G, DEIA Consultant Employment Specialist out of D.C. Greg, I'm going to start with you. I mean, cultists, them fools, that man ain't even remote. He didn't even know how to hold a Bible right. When he cleared the crowds out to stand in front of the Episcopal Church a block from us right here, did not even know how to hold a Bible right.
No, he didn't, Roland. It's quite striking, brother, as you point out. That video combined with the cult meeting in the cabinet room yesterday, at this point, I mean, we can give them credit for one thing. You've drawn the lines very close. A man who all of us probably know too much about now, but you know more than we do coming out of Texas and having seen this clown rise for years. Dan Patrick being the chair of anything that has anything to do with religion or morals or ethics lets you know how absurd this is. Ben Carson, the vice chair, which is absurd. And looking at now in the White House's announcement, I didn't see Alveda King's name, but I saw Phil McGraw, Dr. Phil, the damn Archbishop of New York. What is he doing there? I mean, Rabbi Meyer Soloveichik was there. I suppose that's why, and of course Paula White, who you've had many times excoriated, rightly so. Franklin Graham, but Timothy Dolan, man. I mean, you're sending a message of religious intolerance. And this isn't about Judaism. It isn't about Islam. Maybe I overlooked the Muslim member. Maybe I didn't. But clearly, finally, what's going on in this country is absolutely religious fascism.
Yeah.
Not extremism, but fascism. And what we have to face, even as we got word this afternoon that another federal judge slapped him around, this time right there in your home district, Southern District of Texas, which includes Houston and Brownsville, saying he can't use that Alien Enemy Act to deport Venezuelans, is that there's going to be, this is an all-out war basically for the rule of law in this country, and he is determined to knock down that wall between church and state.
This is the executive order here, Nola, the establishment of the Religious Liberty Commission. And you go through here, and he's talking about religious schools and all this sort of stuff, you name it. This ain't got nothing to do with any religion outside of radical, fundamentalist, right-wing Christianity. Pure and simple.
First of all, this isn't an area that I play around with. First of all, I was offended as a Catholic that he showed up, being him, not caring, and belligerent in his action of not caring what he wore. So it was a very disrespectful act because that is who he is, right? And also sitting here with the divinity degree, I can tell you that my Bible tells me in Exodus that you shall not worship an idol. And that is what they are sitting there doing. They are worshiping their golden calf.
Oh, wait. I forgot this. I saw the other day. You do know that he actually said he would like to be the Pope.
Oh, I did see that.
Hold on. For the folk who missed it, y'all, watch this.
As Pope? Yeah. I'd like to be Pope. That would be my number one choice.
I'd like to be Pope. That'd be my number one choice. And Lindsey Graham, if you want to see, again, his face is so far up Trump's ass. He literally is in brown face every single day. That fool actually put out a tweet about how amazing, how awesome. Look, hold on, I just gotta blow this up for y'all, because y'all might think I'm lying. Y'all at home sitting there going, I think Roland lying. I think he just sitting here making stuff up. Surely that man did not say something that shameful, despicable, and ass-kissing. Well, yes, he did. Look at this dumbass Lindsey Graham. I was excited to hear that President Trump is open to the idea of being the next pope. This would truly be a dark horse candidate, but I would ask the papal conclave and Catholic faithful to keep an open mind about this possibility. The first Pope U.S. President combination has many upsides. Watching for white smoke. No, I'm watching for white ass kissing by Lindsey Graham. Nola, go ahead.
Did you see the Vatican's response when they listed qualifications? And we all know Donald Trump has 0 qualifications for any job on the planet. So that's a joke. And I don't play with God. I don't play with Jesus. That's why, for me, you know, religion is very personal and private. But tonight, I am being very public about my thoughts and my feelings. Keep playing with God if you want to. Keep playing with God if you want to. And that's what these people are doing. They are not Christians. This is some warped ideology that is wrapped inside of white supremacy, and they are selling it to people as Christianity, and that somehow they are the true worshipers of God because every other word is God and amen. Okay, so they are pulling a fast one over on the American public for people that are actually thirsty for the word, people that are actually thirsty for the Lord, people that are actually thirsty for their lives to change. And here they are, snake oil salesmen, wholesale, selling a version, an idolatrous version of Christianity. And I'm very passionate and I'm very upset about this because this is not a game. And these people are playing with God, and keep testing them if you want to.
I had to remind, to the point Nola just made there, I had to remind people that I talked about this. I talked about this but when these people said they wanted a king. They wanted a king. And the children of Israel wanted a king, Zipporah, and God said, but y'all got me. No, we want a king. God said, okay, I'm going to give y'all a king, but I'm going to tell y'all what the king is going to do. And he laid out all the evil stuff. And they got Saul. Oh, they got Saul. Then they were crying and gnashing of teeth because God was like, no. Y'all wanted a king. And the reality is, for the people who voted for this thug, for the people who voted for this religious pimp, they got their king. But see, their king is about to wreak havoc on their lives. We already see what's happening with the economy. We've seen what's happening with tariffs. It's all across the board. And so this is the thing that people keep forgetting. I love the people like Trump. God saved me from assassination because he wanted me to be president. I need people to understand, when the Bible said God will give you the desires of your heart, that don't mean it's always good. God's like, okay, since you want that, go on right ahead. Now, when you screw up, then you're going to come holler at me. America is going to come face to face with what happens when it asks for and gets a king, Zipporah.
They are definitely getting exactly what they want, and they're not being held accountable to what we call Christians live by. The Bible tells us in Micah, like, what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, love, mercy. We don't have any of these. This is number white nationalism in a Sunday suit, right? They dress it up. They make it seem like this is all the things we need. And then the reality is, it's like they're not following anybody's Bible. They're not following any religious protocols that have been there since the test of time. They're not handling people with truth in one hand, love in the other. It's all judgment. It's all hellfire, brimstone. And it's playing with God, like Nola said. And you're going to be held responsible for the things that you are doing. From rolling back all of these things to treating all of these different groups of people unjust, to not really paying attention to how your actions are impacting bulks of people, from the SAVE Act to everything that they're doing. It's just like a mockery of the faith. And for a woman of faith, it really disappoints me. Well, it don't disappoint me because that's who they are, right? This is who they've been. When they gave the slaves half a Bible, right? They've been doing these things forever, and they dress it up, and people don't want to speak out. It's time for people to start speaking truth to power. God tells us to go boldly in Christ, not to be okay with things that you know don't align with what the Bible say or whatever religion that you are following.
This, no doubt, Greg, this is Jim Crow Christianity. That's who Paula White and Dr. Phil and these people represent, including the black people.
It's true. It's absolutely true. I tell you, Roland, I mean, just listening to this conversation, and Lindsey Graham, I mean, at what point, I mean, there are no rules left. I mean, that's beyond ass kissing. I mean, that's in the context of Christian religion, Catholicism in particular, sacrilegious. But, the oral arguments yesterday, the Oklahoma case that was argued before the Supreme Court, where Amy Coney Barrett has recused herself, and the decision may end up hinging on John Roberts, because the good Catholics would call themselves Catholics, like Clarence Thomas, and a man who was a Catholic fascist, Sam Alito. He's probably in some of them same weird Catholic cults or Catholic adjacent cults. I won't call them. I wouldn't put that on Catholicism. That Pete Hegseth is in. But that Oklahoma case, where they're trying to become the first religious charter school, and not only that, but a virtual charter school, meaning they wanted to enroll 200 kids, I think, from around the country in a virtual charter school, religious charter school, Catholic in name only, probably, that could be global. The real attack, while this is absurd, this is a concerted attack. If you read Project 2025, if you go back to Lewis Powell's memo that led to, among other things, creation of the Heritage Foundation, then you know that this is the Christian fascist white nationalist response to the human rights movement that we know as the civil rights and black power movement of the 1960s and even the Reconstruction of the 1860s. So you nailed it. The Ku Klux Klan, after all, will call themselves Christians. And this movement, this white fascist Christian nationalist movement, rose in the wake of the liberation struggle, the physical struggle of African people to free ourselves. So I think when you call it Jim Crow, some people might say, well, you're going too far. No, you know that you are teaching the history of Jim Crow. It is a Christian fascist movement in principal part because they don't think that anybody other than white people are human. And in fact, we're no different than the other non-human animals. And as far as black people are concerned, we have no souls for a lot of them. So yeah, this is not just bizarre, it's dangerous.
Roland?
Joining us by phone is Congressman Jonathan Jackson. Congressman Jackson, your father was a part of that Black freedom movement. And the reality is these Jim Crow Christians, they despise what happened. They despise the 1964 Civil Rights Act. They despise the 1965 Voting Rights Act. They despise the 1968 Civil Rights Act known as the Fair Housing Act. They despise Title IX, which came in 1972, which was born out of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. They despise the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1996 that was born out of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. They despise the efforts to achieve equality and inclusion. They despise all of these things. And what we are seeing these right-wing Christian fundamentalists aided by these right-wing fundamentalists that you serve with in Congress. And then you have these nutcases like Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick and Governor Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis in Florida and Kay Ivey in Alabama and then Tate Reeves in Mississippi, Bill Lee in Tennessee, Sarah Huckabee in Arkansas, McMaster's in South Carolina. That is what we are seeing, and folk had better pay attention because they absolutely want nothing more than a theocracy to rule this nation.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.